Alright, Schlockmeister fans, we're going to re-review something from my previous channel. Lucio Fulci's Zombie, a classic. Is it as good as some people say? Let's check it out. Our movie starts abruptly with a bullet to the head. That is the Staten Island Ferry, just missing this boat, which is kind of floating in the New York harbor. A couple of cops jump on board to check it out. And out of nowhere, this hulking beast comes out to attack him.
Don't move, I said! Don't move!
And into the drink he goes. I think that's Fulci himself there, and that's a reporter named Peter West.
Is there something big? Nah. Go without anyone on it, cop killed. Poke around a bit, see what you can find.
Tisa Farrow is the daughter of the boat's owner.
Well, Miss Bowles, we're waiting.
Yes. It's my father's boat.
Where's your father now?
I don't know.
The reporter snuck onto the boat, as did Anne, the daughter, later on that night.
My name's Peter West, and I'm a reporter. Now I'm going to take my hand away, and you're not going to scream, okay?
The cops are guarding the boat, so they make up a story as to why they were there. When they get caught. Found a letter from her father.
They're taking care of me as if I was some sort of guinea pig, but I know I'll never leave this island again, at least not alive.
Her dad is on an island doing experiments and whatever else. He's a scientist of some sort. The two of them fly to the Caribbean.
Do you know anyone who can rent us a boat?
Boat, senor. Sorry, not easier to find boat.
We want to go to Motul. It's very important.
That's where her father was. Meanwhile, on Motul is another scientist who was working with Anne's father. And this is his wife.
I'm afraid it's useless to go on trying.
You call fooling around with superstitions and voodoo rites research?
You know perfectly well that the work I'm doing is very important. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't.
I don't give a damn. I don't want to stay on this island one more hour. You won't be happy until I meet one of your zombies.
So they find a happy-go-lucky boat to take them to Motul. And there they go. They stop along the way so the wife of the ship captain can go down and scuba dive a little bit, and she's going to have an encounter with a shark. And if that wasn't bad enough, she then gets attacked by an underwater zombie. She gets away, and then the zombie goes after the shark. And this is no CGI. This is a real stuntman and a real tiger shark. Anyway, they make it to the island, and then this is Dr. Menard's wife. She took a shower, and then she's getting attacked by something. Well, the zombie grabs her and pulls her into this wood shard, which punctures her eyeball. While his wife is getting killed, Dr. Menard picked up the guys from the boat.
I insisted that he should leave, but he wouldn't. He felt that he could in some way become a guinea pig.
We see a flashback to the doctor, Anne's father, when he passed away.
I spent the day watching over his body. But I knew that eventually I would have to find the courage to release him.
And then we circle back to what we saw in the beginning of the movie. That was clearly Doctor shooting Doctor. Well, Dr. Menard sends everybody over to his house to pick up his wife, but obviously we know she's deceased. And they find a bunch of zombies eating her. Apparently it's all a voodoo curse. Let's bring these people back to life.
The father, my father, always say, when the earth spit out the dead, they will come back to suck the blood from the living.
That's nonsense.
Anyway, the rest of them flee, and they're resting in a place that just happens to be a burial ground for conquistadors, which conveniently come to life. And they're going to get the wife of the boat captain. Next thing you know, the zombies are everywhere. They make it back to Dr. Menard's place.
They're coming back to life. They're everywhere. As a man of science, I don't believe in voodoo. But the phenomenon defies logical explanation.
That's the end of Dr. Menard. As well as his helper. That's a cool scene. As they were fleeing, the boat captain ran into his wife, who was now a zombie. She took a big bite out of him.
What are you waiting for?
They make it to the boat and take off, but the captain succumbs.
He's dead.
They're heading back to New York, but this awaits them. All right, Lucio Fulci's Zombie. This is a movie I've had in my collection since probably 1988 or 89. I had it on a VHS tape. And I remember watching at the time, I think I had some ads. I saw some ads for some trailers and some other tapes, and it looked pretty cool. However, I can honestly say I think I've been disappointed by this film over the years. It's got certainly a cult following, and people really, really love this movie, although I never really loved it as much as other people have. I like it. It's okay. It's good, but it's just not fantastically good, like a Dawn of the Dead type of thing to me. But anyway, what we have here is an Italian a zombie film. It was called... I think its official title is Zombie 2, Z-O-M-B-I 2. It was supposed to be a sequel to Zombie, Z-O-M-B-I, which is the Italian title for Dawn of the Dead. It really has no relation to Dawn of the Dead, so when it was Americanized, they just called it Zombie. But anyway, we have a boat that appears in New York City. It's like a sailboat, and there's a zombie on it. The police... get on board, and the zombie kills one of the cops, and then the cop shoots the zombie, and it falls off the boat. We found out the boat is owned by this doctor who's doing some research in the Caribbean. They get a hold of the woman's, or the doctor's daughter, who, by luck would have it, is in New York City, apparently. And she says, I haven't talked to my dad in a while. He's supposed to be down there on this island called Matul. So anyway, this reporter gets involved, and she and the reporter go down to Matul themselves. They go to the Caribbean, and they find a boat, and they get there, and what they find on the island is that there is some research and zombies and all kinds of shit going on. They find this other doctor, Dr. Menard, who was like a partner of Anne's father, and he tells them the story about how he became cursed with whatever is running rampant, this disease on there, and he thought he could be a guinea pig and try to solve it, but he eventually died, and he turned into a zombie as well, and was immediately shot by Dr. Menard. Next thing you know, the zombies are just starting to rise all over the place. They're coming out of graveyards and everything else, and they're wreaking havoc all over the place. They're biting people, and next thing you know, our our heroes are getting bit one by one. The boat captain's wife gets bit, and later on she bites her husband. And then ultimately everybody on the island dies with the exception of the reporter and Anne and the boat captain. They managed to escape. However, the boat captain was bitten by his wife, so he eventually succumbs to his wounds and dies on the boat. They decide they're going to go back to New York. However, they start to hear some radio reports of what's happening in New York. Apparently the zombies are overrunning the place there, and that's the last thing we see, are a bunch of zombies on the Brooklyn Bridge walking over it. So I guess it's going to be hell on earth, right? So anyway, that is Zombie. Now, I will say that Zombie is a very gory film, and it has some really cool effects, some nice biting sequences, biting into an arm, tearing of flesh, that sort of thing. And, of course, the famous scene where that piece of wood, that splinter of wood, goes into that woman's eye. Now, I've been watching horror movies for 40 years, and I've seen all kinds of carnage, and nothing really gets me, with one exception: eyeball pain. When it comes to hypodermic needles in the eyes or any sort of eye stuff, it just makes me cringe. It's like getting kicked in the balls. Every time a guy sees somebody in a movie get kicked in the balls, they instinctively put their legs together. Ooh, because they understand. We get it. That's the same thing with eye pain. It just makes me cringe. I love scenes like that because they do have a reaction like that in me, so that's cool. But whew, that's tough to watch for you. But anyway, I'll always watch it. That is Zombie. I'm pretty sure it's been released on Blu-ray too. I'll leave you a link to that if you're looking for it. I have this Anchor Bay DVD, which I've had a long, long time. But yeah, I do like the movie. I just am not super in love with it like some people are. But it is good. I do like it, and I'll give it credit for that. It's got a few nude scenes thrown in as well. Shower scene. And, oh, I got to make mention of that shark scene. The guy, the zombie who was attacking the shark underwater, like I said, there was no CGI. That was a real tiger shark and a real stuntman messing around with a tiger shark. Apparently, what they did, they fed the tiger shark a lot of food to fatten it up so it wasn't hungry, for one thing. And then they also doped him up a little bit so he wouldn't, hopefully, attack the stuntman, which apparently he didn't. So, but it was a cool scene. So check it out, Zombie. Let me know what you think about it and leave some comments down below. Watch it. Bye.